Welcome to Million Hour Workweek, where we learn the stories and work life of entrepreneurs so that if you are looking to start this type of business, you'll have a little insight into what it takes to start, run, and successfully profit off of a business like this. And for the community to learn a little bit more about the person behind the business. Today I have here with me Chase Scott from Land and Legacy Custom Homes. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. Tell everyone who you are and what your business is.
Yeah. So again, Chase Scott with Land and Legacy Custom Homes. We build custom homes and also spec homes here in Sapulpa and generally about a 60-mile radius of this area.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Perfect. How long have you been into building homes?
I've been in the industry 11 years. My partners have been in a combined about 28 years. So I have two business partners. Mm-hmm. We come from different areas of the business. My expertise would be marketing, sales, kind of just community relations. Mm-hmm. Then we have the builder, mm-hmm. and then we have our business admin who kind of handles all of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
If someone had never heard of your company, what would you want them to know?
That's a good question. It sounds corny, but it's the truth. We care. I care. I care deeply about what we do. It's not just about making money. It's about really improving people's lives, hearing them out, and making sure they're happy. Mm-hmm. I think a big misconception in the home building industry is your concerns will be dismissed mm-hmm. because you don't know what you're talking about. And so it's kind of a stay out of my way type of mentality. Let me do my job and we can talk when it's done. We take a very different approach. What I mean by that is I'm doing updates every single week. I'm getting to know the families we're working with and that's over the phone. That's important to me. Mm-hmm. You can tell a lot, from a tone and I just think it's important to check in. Mm-hmm. And if there are questions, concerns, issues, I'm the type of person where I want to meet you, on site mm-hmm. and I want to talk it out and just make sure you understand why we're doing what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And also if we did mess up on something, mm-hmm. we're the type of people we're gonna fix it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, nice. That's a very nice reputation to have in mm-hmm. the builder community, of course.
For sure.
Are you from the Tulsa area?
Originally, no. I grew up in Southern California.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Coronado Island, basically just south of San Diego.
Oh, nice.
There's a famous hotel called the Hotel Del. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be haunted, and so I grew up right by there.
Oh, did you ever go tour it?
I got kicked out of there as a kid probably about 25 times.
Oh,
so, yes.
Really?
Just being ornery,
yeah.
as us old people say. So, yeah.
Just frequented the place a lot,
Yep. Try and skate through it. Just do dumb stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Did you always enjoy building or working with your hands when you were younger?
Actually I didn't. So I'm not the builder out of us. I didn't really get into the new construction world until about 11 years ago and absolutely fell in love. Mm-hmm. So I'd be lying if I said I grew up around it. Mm-hmm. I'd say like my expertise in what I grew up around was understanding people. Mm-hmm. And that really comes in handy in this line of work in knowing how to manage emotions and manage egos, mm-hmm. if that makes sense. I think egos are the killer and they disrupt communication in a big way. If you have to prove you're right, you're not going to listen to the other person. Yeah. And so that's really my expertise. But about 11 years ago, I fell in love with the industry. There's nothing cooler than building a home for a family, having their eyes light up and just helping them get into that home.
Mm-hmm. With that, I know that skill is a very entrepreneurial skill. Mm-hmm. Were you an entrepreneurial kid? Like, did you start any jobs as a kid or anything like that?
Oh yeah.
Really? What were some of those?
I mean, just all the little things. I was really into skating in California, mm-hmm. Really into surfing. And so I would, it's not an inappropriate brand. I have to preface with that. There's a brand called Sex Wax, which is a surfing mm-hmm. wax that you use. And so I would do, stands as a kid on the beach and sell that and make $1 off of each one. In high school, it got a little inappropriate probably looking back now, but I would do fundraisers for parties. And so every week I would fundraise, and then I would kind of coordinate and be the social event organizer for our town.
That is an entrepreneur right there.
Thank you.
Yes, town entrepreneur if I've ever seen one, really. What inspired you to get into the building?
Yeah, so I moved here 11 years ago, actually, for ministry, and was in ministry for about a year, and really wasn't ready for the role, and that's its own story. But I met a guy. It was after I was speaking, did a sermon, and he just kind of took me aside. He's like, "I think you'd be really good in sales," and I just happened to know, a builder that's hiring for what's called a new home sales representative. And, I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought you'd have to have your real estate license. And I met with the guy and got the job. And that started me in, my new home sales adventure. Career.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. That was here?
That was here. Yep. That was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was Spectacular Homes, which is now called Hoffman Homes. Gentlemen,
I've seen them,
yeah, they build beautiful homes. It's basically like downsizing luxury homes, and so that was my first experience in the industry.
What really made you fall in love with it?
I think it's difficult to explain. I'm OCD in a way where I love starting something and watching it be completed. So when it's really dirty, when you start a development, it's just this piece of land, and then you put in roads and you put in utilities, then you put in, say the slab, so the concrete slab, and it's so dirty, and you just slowly watch it become this beautiful community. And I fell in love with that process. I fell in love with walking alongside people while they do their selections. I fell in love with getting to know them intimately, knowing their families, knowing their kids' names, when their birthdays were. Another thing I actually fell in love with was I work a lot with real estate professionals. And they're a big part of my business and people I work with every single day. I would say that is also one of my favorite things, getting to know them and having that professional relationship and just personal friendship of these people who trust me with their clients, and pulling through for them when they recommend me. That I don't take that lightly. That means a lot to me. And so I want to make sure we do the right thing.
Whenever you were starting to think about going your own, start your own thing, what were you doing there? What was your life like at that moment for you to even think about?
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 years ago, or I guess 2023, I had worked for a builder, Roush Coleman Homes. John Roush, one of the best owners I had ever worked for, just incredible man. We were in, I believe, 8 different states. It's a large company, and I'd been there for 5 years previous to 2023. I had always felt like I had to finish number one in the entire company. That was my goal from the day I got there in 2018, I believe. And I told my boss, Kyle, I'm going to finish number one in this company. And it kind of goes back to being OCD. It's something I had to do. In 2023, I did that. And so I sold 104 homes, finished number one in the entire company. And I was expecting there to be some type of relief, like a sense of accomplishment, and I'd kind of fulfilled what I wanted to do, and I can get this a monkey off my back. I'm really not sure how to describe it. But it lasted about a week, and I just, I don't know, I was no longer content. And it goes back to, it probably sounds cheesy, but I just felt like there was more for me. I knew there was something else for me. I knew there was more, and I didn't know what it was. And so Roush Coleman, fast forward to 2025, they were bought out by a much larger company, Lennar Homes. And it is a very, very big company. They're great at what they do. Absolutely no disrespect to them whatsoever. but I ended up going into management thinking maybe that would kind of fulfill me. And maybe I had just outgrown sales and now I needed a new challenge of being a manager. What I found out is it was too big of a company for me personally. And for a lot of people, it's a great company to work for. And also I found out that management wasn't really filling that void that I'd kind of been filling since 2023. So fast forward to last summer, my wife and I we had just finished dinner. I think she'd kind of been getting tired of hearing me kind of complain and wallow about like, I know there's something more. What is it? And we're walking in Jinx downtown after dinner. And I just kind of jokingly, dramatically just say like, what else is there for me? And kind of look up and saw the Wooden Toolbox, which was the store in downtown Jinx. And for whatever reason in that moment, it kind of clicked that like, hey, like you can become a builder and you can do this. And, I looked at my wife and I said, like, why can't I do this? Like, why can't I find a couple partners who have strengths in areas that I lack, which would be the physically, home building part. And why don't I do this? And so we had that conversation. I didn't think much of it. And 2 weeks later, my now partners had approached me. And I didn't tell them I had that aha moment or anything like that. And they had approached me and asked if I'd be interested in starting a home building company with them. For me, I am a spiritual person. It felt very much like confirmation, felt like a God thing that this was the next chapter. And it was a huge risk. My wife stays home with the kids. We have 3 kids. I had a very, very comfortable life. I didn't need to take that risk, but it just kind of came back to having faith. And I knew if I did not go for this, I would spend the rest of my life regretting it. Yeah. And so we planned for about 6 months and launched Land and Legacy Custom Homes in the fall of last year.
Has there been any other times in the past that have felt like the same type of thing? Like where you were like, it's just not fulfilling enough. Like I just need something else in like whenever you were younger.
Yeah, I think, I went through a period where I had no self-esteem or self-worth, and that had to do with a lot of decisions I was making. So I can't say I always had that, where regardless of where I was at, I was discontent and felt like I needed more. For a long time, I was honestly just getting by. Like my 20s, I had no clue who I was. I was kind of a jerk, honestly. And so I was really just, I was so lost, had no vision for the future and of what I could possibly do. And when I moved to Tulsa, that's when it was like really about self-discovery, slowly building up this confidence, am I even worthy to be a new home sales rep? And then you get the job, and then you do well, and then you build a little confidence. And that's kind of life in a nutshell. It's no different from what you're doing. And it's those like baby steps, being really scared to do something, doing it anyway, overcoming it. Now you're not afraid of that little hurdle. So then there's a bigger hurdle. So I feel like over the last 11 years, yes, it's been next hurdle, building more confidence. This type of thing.
What did your parents do for work when you were younger?
My dad was in oil and gas, and he was very successful. We had a very privileged childhood, but it was also very inconsistent. Oil and gas, 1 minute you're on top of the world, next minute it's pretty rough. So he made a lot of money, and then he also lost a lot of money. My mother stayed home. She in 91 won Mrs. America, so she was in the pageants and doing all of that stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
With that, how old were you when she was doing the pageants?
I was 91. I was like 7. And they had the pageant they did this dual pageant where it was Mrs. Russia, Miss America, and they did it together. So I wasn't at that pageant. But definitely remember, we watched it on TV and celebrated with like fake champagne.
Yeah.
I got to go on she was invited to Family Feud, and they went up against, it was like Mrs. America versus Playmates from Playboy. Perfect. Of all things. And so there's like a picture of me being held by all of the Mrs. Americas, and then the others.
That's funny.
So it was pretty funny.
Yeah. So whenever you were growing up, what did success look like in your household?
Ooh, that's a good question. My mother, and I'm trying to be respectful, of course. She had very high standards. Mm-hmm. I'd say high maintenance, and she'd probably say the same. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of lived in a superficial environment where I felt worth was tied to how much money you make, what you look like, a lot of those things. So success really looked like driving a nice car, living in a big house, and making sure you look good. Yeah. If I'm being honest.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you feel like that directly goes towards you owning a business now? Like directly correlates?
I don't think so anymore. I don't. And it's like a constant battle, because like your childhood, and I've been in therapy for 8 years, and we've talked about that. Yeah. Off of here, and I've worked through a lot, and it's tough to like shake everything that was instilled in you, because you learn your core values, I believe, by like 7 or 8 years old, and so it does take work to kind of undo that. I would be lying again if I said I don't struggle with some of that superficial stuff. I want to drive a nice car, I want to live in a nice house. Something actually happened to me recently. I'm a watch guy, and I had a nice watch. It was Breitling, and I was proud of it, and I felt like it was a symbol, success. Wearing that, it would show people who didn't know me that I was successful. It probably goes back to being a kid, but it was actually someone broke into my locker at a Lifetime and stole that watch. And so for me, it's fine. Like I was really mad for about an hour, but I got to my car and just kind of had a moment with God, and honestly felt like maybe it was a lesson I needed to learn. Like, hey, I don't need that anymore. Or I don't need to show that. That doesn't mean I'll never buy a nice watch. Yeah. Because I still like them. Yes. But yeah, for now I'm just kind of holding off on some of that stuff. And just trying to take it as a lesson.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I really wanted to do more of your childhood, but this one's back to like your first custom home. I had a really good question. I can't believe I can't remember it.
You can, if you want to think of it, I can expand, I guess, on childhood.
I mean, that's up to you.
Okay. I guess, values and what was instilled in kind of dealing with the superficial lifestyle. And going back to oil and gas, my dad making a lot of money and then having nothing. What kind of ended up happening is my dad losing all of his money. And we had a beautiful house on the beach in Coronado. He couldn't afford it anymore. And so I'm not blaming my mother, and I'm not here trying to, I'm sure there were other issues, but shortly after he had lost everything is when they got a divorce. And then my mother had married another very wealthy guy who was well known. And I'm not going to say his name out of respect for his kids, but he was known locally, and he was a big deal. And so we went back to that very, very extravagant lifestyle. So much so, like taking limos to school and stuff, like just bizarre out there type of stuff. Yeah. And one day we came home from a cruise that my ex-stepfather had sent us on, but he had sent us on this cruise to basically change all the locks when we got home and kick us out. And so we had gotten back from the cruise, and all the doors to the house were locked. We couldn't get any of our things. And so then we were kicked out again. And so it was this whole up and down roller coaster type childhood of like having it all to having it nothing. And so I really had to overcome that fear with starting Land and Legacy, because I was very comfortable, and that's always been really important to me, is stability. And so this was a huge risk, and but I'm so glad I took it.
Yeah. I was going to say that is a big hurdle to jump and then start a business where you're kind of not stable for like 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Like it's kind of a rough start for a little bit.
Oh, big time.
Has there been any times so far where you have like almost jumped ship because of that?
I wouldn't say I got to the point of almost jumping ship, but I will say the first 3 months, so like September to November, were some of the most difficult of my entire life.
Yeah.
I went so public with this company, and not that I'm a big deal. I don't mean that at all, because I'm not. But you know, I know a lot of people. I'm on social media. I have to advertise, and I have to put myself out there. And I was so terrified of failing publicly and just being embarrassed and looking like a failure. And so those first 3 months, I lost 15 pounds. Like I wasn't really eating. I was short with my wife. I can say without her and the stability she brought and like faith in me, I probably would have or thought more about it. But she just has like such a calming demeanor and that confidence that I'll succeed that really got me through those first 3 months.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you feel like you had a lot of personal growth?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. It goes back to like, one of my favorite quotes, and it probably sounds cynical, but no one is coming to save you. I mean, that was like repeated in my mind over and over. It's like, no one's, you know, I'm not going to wake up and everything's going to be okay. Like, and as you know, so it's like, I have to make it happen. So what am I going to do today? Like to get to my goal. And so I think anxiety, at least in my experience, which is anxiety is something I've always dealt with and struggled with. When you put off difficult things or, like for instance, I'm going to do a reel about, you know, what Land and Legacy brings and put it on Facebook. If I keep putting that off, that's when anxiety builds up for me.
Yeah.
And so it's just about those baby steps and accomplishing those small things daily. And then it leads to like big victories where you get that sale, you help that family get into a home.
Yeah. So whenever you were going to start your first custom home, what was that project like for you? Oh yeah.
It's our first customer signed up on my birthday.
Oh, so, yes. Look at that. Meant to be.
It was actually two. We had two people, two incredible families. And it just so happened that they wanted to sign the agreements, you know, on December 18th. And so like it's a day I'll always remember because and again, I don't mean this boastfully, but you know, I'd never gone more than probably a week or two without, you know, a sale in the last 11 years. And so I mean, it was driving me nuts to a degree, and to help these families sign up. Both of them so different. You know, one's a young family. The other is a grandmother who's building, you know, right next to her family.
Oh, that's sweet.
And so talking about her grandbabies and all of those things. It was really special. And I didn't plan on sharing this, but it's fine. But, you know, I wrote those contracts, and then I walk in the door, and my wife's there, and I'm getting actually emotional thinking about it. But like that weight had been lifted off of my shoulders. And I just remember kind of like, you know, getting teary-eyed, and her giving me a big hug. And I think it was so emotional, not because it's like, oh my gosh, I got a sale, like I'm making money. Like we had set ourselves up to be fine regardless. Yeah. Because you should never do sales when you're desperate. Yeah. Because that's when people lie and do dumb things. So we were fine in that regard. It was more of like a moment I felt proud. Yeah. And that proving that she was right for believing in me, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. So, the teamwork has been shown through.
Yeah. It was a special moment that I'll never forget.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it should be, because that's a big moment.
Yeah. Thank you. And absolutely. So in those two families, we're wrapping up their homes actually in the next, both should be closed in 2 weeks.
So, perfect. And I bet they're so excited.
They are. I do our update calls. Like I had said, I check in every week. So I actually got off the phone with both of those clients a little bit ago.
Yeah. My next question was, how involved are the clients in the process?
Yeah, they can be involved as much as they want. And so it really depends on the person. Our client that's here in Sepulpa, she was pretty involved because her family lives on site. And so we have phone calls every Tuesday, and honestly, like, it didn't go perfectly. We had some learning curves as a brand new builder. We had some hiccups with our selection process with her, and her picking out a tile that was something we basically couldn't get in stock for about a month. And so now, granted, we're going to finish a custom home in 7 months, but I mean, there were definitely hiccups, and she's handled that with such grace. Yeah. And she has been involved. We've met with them and their family multiple times on site. And I think what helps ease the anxiety that she feels of wanting to get in her home is knowing that she can call me anytime.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like, if she calls me on a Monday, I'll get back to her on a Friday. Yeah. It's if she calls me on a Monday, I'm probably getting back to her within a couple hours every single time.
What are some of the biggest delays that can happen?
Yeah. So there is such a wide variety of delays, and it depends on what stage you're at in the home. So an example would be, we can be completely done with the home on the interior, everything done. And we can have final grade, which basically means you're getting ready to put the grass down, the sod down. And then we can run into rain. And so it can rain for 2 weeks. Then you have to wait for it to dry. And then the company that you had scheduled to come out, 3 weeks ago is now bottlenecked because they couldn't work for 3 weeks. Yeah. So now they're trying to cram in all their jobs. And that can be a month delay out of nowhere. And it's nobody's fault. It's Mother Nature. Yeah. I would say that's one of the most frustrating delays that people probably deal with, because they're looking at a completed home and they're like, I want to get in there, but we have to complete the home, obviously. Yeah.
How many trades are involved in completing a home?
Oh, there's a lot. I'd say ballpark 10 to 15.
Really?
Yeah, you have a lot of different specialists come out, a lot of different people. Building a home isn't the complicated part. It's really managing personalities and managing trades. Yeah. And so you have to make sure that you have people you trust. It needs to be people that know they're also getting repeat business. If they feel like it's a one-off job. So for instance, if our plumber calls in sick, we're not going to open up the phone book and call a random plumber to come out. Yeah. Because that plumber knows we're probably not going to use them again. Yeah. I don't trust that plumber is going to do their best work with somebody they don't ever think they're going to work for again.
Exactly. They're like, this person's never going to see me again. I can do whatever I want.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, get in, get out. I don't have to worry about it. And so those are the types of things that we've planned, we've thought hard about. And so that's what we tell every client. Hey, if like our plumber calls in sick, we're going to be delayed a week, and you have to be okay with that because we trust him. We trust his work.
What is something that always takes longer than homeowners expect?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think what comes to mind. I mean, really just the example of like the final grade and not realizing how long that could potentially take. Lane tile can be a little tedious and slow moving as well. Yeah. You want to make sure it's done properly and everything's spaced correctly. Yeah.
How long does that usually take to dry?
It takes to cure tile, to get everything dry. I mean, just a few days, but it's really getting everything ordered and on time, depending on what they select. Yeah. Selected if it's in stock, and so those things you don't think of are what kind of can kill a time frame.
Absolutely, as if not being in stock for a month, that could definitely kill your time frame.
Exactly.
One thing I know about your company is that you try to work with different budgets. Why is that important to you?
Yeah. My favorite clients are, and I think I told you this in the car, I love working with first-time buyers, people at a lower price point. I mean, I love working with all of our buyers. That's not it. I think why I love it is because we provide that same luxury experience, whether your home is $250,000 or $800,000, you're going to be treated the same. And I think a lot of times at the price point of $250 to $350, that's not the experience they get in most places they go when it comes to home builders.
Yeah.
And so it's more of, I just get excited, like almost like I want to wow you guys on this experience. And so that's really fulfilling. But again, I mean, we have a $800,000 custom build starting here in about 3 weeks. And working with them has been one of the biggest honors and privileges. He's a veteran, and they're just an incredible family. So every one of them's like unique and has their own story.
What has been your smallest budget that you've worked with so far?
We have a home that is starting this week, and it's another client I just got off the phone with in Manford. They are doing a semi-custom home in Manford on their property, and final purchase price, I believe, is at like $265.
That's not bad at all.
No, and they got to walk their plan at scale. They got to meet with our interior designer, pick out all their selections. They can do accent walls. Like we don't charge a nickel and dime for those things that will add character. Yeah. That don't cost us money. We're not just going to charge you.
What is a semi-custom home? What qualifies as that?
Yeah, great question. So we have pre-designed floor plans on our website. And so you can pick one of those. We can build it exactly as it is, or you can tweak it. You can make changes. And so these clients wanted a little bit larger front covered porch, larger back covered porch, I believe a larger shower.
Oh, nice.
And so you add those things, and then they make the changes. And that's deemed a semi-custom.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
What is the biggest misconception about custom homes?
For us, or just in the industry, do you think?
Just in general, like what do you think would steer people away from custom homes?
Oh yeah, that's a great one. That it takes a year to build.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we have customs going, and our average time, and granted, we started last year, but again, we're going to get one person in at 2,300 square feet, which was the semi-custom. They will close at the 6-month point. A lot of people think it takes a year. Our custom in Sepulpa, we're going to close in 7 months. And that was with the selections hiccup. So it doesn't always take a year, and it doesn't have to be the most stressful experience of your life, which I think a lot of people think it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Where can homeowners save money without sacrificing quality?
Ooh. I love your questions. These are great.
Thank you.
And she did not give me these questions ahead of time. So where can they save money without sacrificing quality? I think flooring is a big saver. Do a stained concrete. Like I love your flooring. LVP it sometimes gets a bad rap. So that's luxury vinyl plank. Yeah. You can save tens of thousands of dollars if you will do LVP versus an engineered wood or a hardwood. It's durable, it's low maintenance, it's easy to replace. If you have young kids, it doesn't absorb that moisture, it doesn't really scratch. And so I think that's a big one, and it still looks really nice.
Nice. How does that compare to, what's it called? The tile?
The wood tile.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you'll see a lot of wood tile, you'll see a lot of engineered wood, or hardwood. Wood tile is incredibly durable and a great product also, but it's also expensive. Skilled labor and getting them in. With the LVP, that's where I've seen people be able to, if they'll do the LVP, then spend more in the kitchen in areas where they can really like create that wow factor in the house.
Where should people not try to cut corners at?
So for me, I think cabinets.
Really?
Yeah. I think they just make a kitchen, and we always do, like we will only do custom alder cabinets with soft close drawers. You can just feel the difference when you open like our cabinets versus, like some production builders who use basically like a prefab cabinet, meaning they're just ordered, they're already made, and you just stick them up there. With us, they're custom. It's like a heavier wood. And so I think it really makes the difference, and you shouldn't skimp out on, the master bathroom, I think, is also another one. Yeah. It's like your kitchen, your bathroom, especially for a lot of, women we work with, and they want that area.
Yeah. Have you done like a wet room yet?
Oh, a wet room.
Yes. So it's essentially like a big, like, it'd probably have to be like maybe 10, 12 feet.
Yes.
Yes. And there's a bathtub and a shower in there.
No, I haven't. But actually, I think you brought that up when we did our kind of day in the life.
Yes.
And I'm fascinated with it. I love it where you can just, have that. We've not done a wet room.
Yes.
What we are working on for one of our customs is he's putting a sauna and a cold tank.
Ooh.
So he's doing that in his bathroom. He has a shower, then cold tank and sauna. But I can't wait to do a wet room.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think is like a luxury add-on that you like, that's your favorite?
A luxury add-on that is my favorite.
Yes.
Gosh, probably that wet room, honestly.
Really?
It goes back to the kitchen. I always think like a thicker granite or quartz with the farmhouse sink. I think those things just really pop and are some of my favorites. If I had to do a third, it's not necessarily a luxury add-on because it's included in a lot of our builds, but vaulted ceilings and making that space feel grand is pretty big.
I like vaulted ceilings as well, as you can see. I mean,
Yep.
I don't have exactly
Hey,
vaulted.
you have the coolest lights I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Whenever someone is calling you for a build and they say, "Oh, I only have X budget," how do you approach that conversation?
It's really tough is what I've found. And this has been one of the biggest learning curves for me. Is as working for a production builder, pricing is just the pricing. You can go online, you see it. They know we don't have any negotiations. And so it's very black and white. It's like going to a CarMax when you work for, it's just price is a price, take it or leave it. What has happened repeatedly is people will they'll find a plan online. So like they'll type in modern farmhouse and I get like the same plan over and over again and people want an estimate and they're beautiful and I get why. So they'll send me this plan that's only about 2,400 square feet. And in their mind, they're thinking 2,400 square feet. This builder is 162 to 200 per square foot. And so this will be within my budget. But they send the plan and the concrete footprint is a very complex one with a lot of linear feet, a huge covered back patio, a huge wraparound covered front porch. Concrete's one of the most expensive parts of the build. And then you're paying for shingles for that covered patio wraparound, a bunch of roof pitches and just a very complex plan. And so what's happened often is people will send these plans and, they think it's going to be, $350,000 for the modern farmhouse. And they're just so sticker shocked when I tell them like, hey, this is going to cost like over, $500,000 to build. Yeah. Here's why. And that's the thing about us though, is like, I'm an open book. So I explain why in detail, kind of what I just went over, but more in depth. And then, we look for a solution. Hey, if we can make this slab, that the footprint of the home more like a rectangle. And if you can sacrifice the wraparound covered patios and just do maybe a front to still give it that farmhouse feel. And that's how we work with people because I think there's that stigma in the custom world where people kind of hold their budgets. They kind of keep it close to the chest. Like they tell me their budget. Regardless of what the home costs, I'm gonna say it's the max their budget, which couldn't be further from the truth. Yeah. And so you kind of have to play that game. They have to get to know you and trust you. And then, we go from there.
How do you keep transparency with prices, like with inflation?
Yeah. So that's another great question. There's a couple options with builders. You have what's called a turnkey builder, and that's what we are. And so when we go to contract, we have the final price, and that's the price.
Okay, perfect.
If we underestimated what something would cost or didn't price it right, we're eating those costs. We along with every other builder in the country now do have two clauses though. The first is called a rock clause. The rock clause is we won't know if there's a lot of rock in Oklahoma underground. So we won't know if there's rock underground until we start digging. And so if we run into a bunch of rock, the price could be increased, $2,000 to $9,000.
Oh, okay.
Fortunately, we haven't run into that, but we have a rock clause and then also essentially the COVID clause. Ours is a little different. And that's basically, hey, if we had another pandemic and lumber and everything went through the absolute roof and was increased 400%, we have to stay in business. And so what we've agreed to do is essentially meet in the middle. we're not going to put all of that cost on you. We're going to show you show transparency, show you exactly how much it went up when we'll meet you in the middle. Even if it means us breaking even, that's what we're going to do. But we at least have to break even so we stay in business.
We do have to be a business at the end of the day to finish your house.
Exactly.
What has been your hardest project so far?
The first home. So this is the Sepulpa one that you got to tour. That's been the most difficult. It goes back to I care a lot, and it's not just a saying. I'm not being corny about it. It's like I go home and at night and I think about these clients, and honestly, again, I'm very transparent. I've been frustrated this last month. We should have closed her a month ago, and I know she wants to get in, and the tile delay and some of those delays have been such a challenge for me because I want to be in control of everything. And at some point you just realize I'm depending on not just my partners who are amazing and care just as much as me, but we're depending on people outside of this company to care and expedite things for us when we really need them. Has this been a very exposure therapy to letting go of time restraints? Because you have to rely on a lot of other people's schedules now. We've learned so many lessons in this first build. And I tell everybody, it's like, I'll always be real with you. And I will. And so we've learned lessons, and we've done a couple things wrong on this first build in Sepulpa, but we adapted. We've changed our process now due to what we experienced. And so, to answer your question, it was like, hey, you're going to be in 6 months. And then now it's 7 months. And it's like, I can't even say that anymore. Cause I spent a month saying, hey, we think we're wrapping up. And then it took a little bit longer. And thankfully she's been amazing to work with and shown us a ton of grace.
Absolutely. During your work week, how much time do you spend in the office versus spending on the job site?
So my partners would laugh at this question if they watch this. I am never in the office. I'm only in the office when I have an appointment. So I'm in the office every Tuesday. We spend a couple hours together as a team, tightening everything up. We go over construction updates. What do we need to fix? We're always improving, tweaking. And then I'm there for our appointments. Other than that, it's like I think you and I talked about that. I can't sit in an office all day. So I am constantly out in the field. I personally check every home twice a week, and my partners check it every single week. And so we're always out there kind of obsessing over it.
Have you had any issues with stuff going missing off of job sites?
Gosh, don't jinx us. Not yet. So I know. So fortunately, we haven't. And so we do, we're going to have security in place, and you have to put cameras and do those things. But our Sepulpa, for instance, it's on site of where her children live. And so that I think helps us quite a bit.
I bet that does help.
I don't think they're going to let anything go missing.
No. What's something that people would be surprised to learn that takes up most of your day?
I'm a big face-to-face person. I don't really like just checking in over the phone in regards to relationships of people in the industry. Obviously, people I meet with who want a home, I meet with them in person. But so I spend hours probably over 15 hours a week meeting one-on-one with agents. Very important to me. They're trusting me with their client. So I think it's important that I get in front of them. They can kind of hear my heart, see who I am as a person. So it makes it an easy decision for them when they have a client saying they're looking to build, they have someone they can trust.
Yeah, absolutely. Has that been I don't really know how I want to phrase that question. Has that been a hard industry to build a relationship with?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it's really difficult to crack. Again, I've been at it 11 years, so it's gotten a lot easier because obviously the longer into it, the more you get introduced, you've kind of established that trust. But realtors, they get hit up by people nonstop. Insurance people, inspectors, appraisers, all these people want their business. They want them to refer those people business. And I didn't realize that when I first got in it. And so, I'm just cold calling all these agents. And a lot of times, like, they're either not answering or hanging up very quickly.
Yeah.
Now I understand why. It's because, they thought I was a possible prospect, or it's an important call about one of their deals they have going.
Yeah.
And then it's just some dude who has no experience saying like, hey, send me, your buyer.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why the face-to-face is so important for me.
What are some of the biggest things that you've had to learn, like skills that you've had to develop to be able to extend the olive branch to them?
Confidence.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I was so intimidated by agents, probably until about 7 years ago. I mean, those first 4 years, I didn't know as much as them.
Yeah.
They're very like professional and just how they carry themselves, very successful. A lot of the people I was pursuing. And so it was, I needed to build some confidence to show like what I had to give them, and that, hey, I'm a person of value. Like, I care, I'm available when you need me, and I want to help your client just as much as you want to help them.
Yeah.
And so, that was a big one to learn.
Absolutely. Because a lot of people probably feel that same feeling of like the intimidation of it. And especially whenever if you go to an event where there's a ton of realtors.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that's intimidating just to be in the room, let alone be like, hi, can I please get your business?
Exactly.
Like, can I give you my card? Do you mind?
Yep.
So I understand.
Yep.
How do you balance your family life with running your company? Why are you laughing?
Just one my wife would appreciate.
Yes.
Not terribly well, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, my family is the most important thing to me. I think anybody who knows me well would say that. It's the reason I do everything. I have 3 kids, 1.5, 4, and 6. They are my world. My wife is my world. I really struggle with turning it off when I get home. And so a lot of times, like, sometimes I get home and my mind is somewhere else because I'm thinking about our client in Sepulpa who needs her tile, and why can't we get it in this week? And so I carry that home. And I'm also generally, my availability for agents and my clients is essentially 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday, I do disconnect completely. So I tell all clients, hey, unless it's an emergency, this is my family day. So I really try to do that where it's Sunday is family day. But I still, I play with my kids every day and do all of that stuff. But I'm slight workaholic, I'd say.
Do you plan on, like, later on, once you get a little bit bigger, hiring someone so you have more time away?
Maybe. Yeah. It
might be in the cards.
It's tough. Like, it's my baby, this company. And, I don't mean this with any ego, but I'm selling like me.
Yes.
And like, you're getting me, you're getting someone who cares and is going to make sure things are done correctly. And I have a difficult, and my partners, I'm not referring to them, they're amazing and have the same mentality. I have a difficult time trusting people.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, maybe just taking over like one aspect, like maybe like a scheduling or
Sure.
like this part or like materials or like just something to free up some time.
Oh, well, in that regard, my partners are amazing.
Yes.
And so they handle 99% of like the operation side, and then I'm constantly there, and that's why we're such great partners. I'm constantly there because I talk to our clients all the time, following up. Hey, like, when is this? When are we doing this? When are we doing that? So it's a great combination.
Do you feel like they share the workload very well?
Absolutely. Yep. And so they're working, just as hard. I mean, they tell me to turn it off in the evening and like have that family time. And that's something I don't know if it'll ever change. And like, I'm fine with the way things are right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, it's good. You always want a very strong team, especially when you're starting out.
Sure.
You don't want to be one of those, class group projects where like one person's doing all the work.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You don't want that in business. That's not going to be good.
We share the pie. We each have 33.3% of the work, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a homeowner completely change their mind halfway through a build?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that happens definitely. I wouldn't say a full 180. But I mean, we've experienced, and hey, bring it on. Like, it's your custom home. As long as we can still change it, we'll change it. And so a perfect example is, we have a client, who wanted to add shelving and cabinets and drawers to their pantry. And we were just about to order cabinets. And so we had to do an audible. We got her with our interior designer. She got to design those cabinets, and we put that order in. So things like that, I expect that on pretty much every build.
What is the most unique request that you've gotten in one of your builds?
Seriously, so far, probably that cold tank. I love cold plunging, and so I just think it's the coolest thing.
How is that set up?
Yeah, he he has like a special faucet coming in, and then a specially made tub that will get like the temperature correct for him. And is
it kind of like the wet room situation, like right by the
It's
shower?
right by it, so it's not, because I saw what you have. It's not that exact wet room look where there's like a glass doors where you have the cold tank and the shower.
Yeah.
It's separated, but kind of similar.
Nice.
Yeah.
If money weren't a factor, what would your dream build be?
Oof. My personal dream build. My wife would have issue with this, so it'll never happen. Because I think my mind is constantly racing. I hate clutter. I love like the compound, cold, minimalist. Like, that is me. And I would want, just grays are kind of going out. I still love it, but it would be like black cabinets like you have, white countertops, and just some art. Yeah. And just nothing else.
Very, very clean, minimal aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Square feet wide, it'd probably be like 35 to 4,000 square feet,
Nice.
2-story to get specific, and on some land.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep.
How many acres?
I think we've been looking at land. We're in a large house now, so we wouldn't go any bigger. But we're looking at like 5 to 20.
Nice. Pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
What's the very first step people should take before building?
Call me. No, that's how it's.
You have to pick up the phone, dial my number.
No, I think so. A big step that people overlook, I'd say one of the most important things is, if you're looking at land, you really should reach out, because we do free home site evaluations. And so let's say this happens all the time. You have a budget of $500,000 for land in the home. You find land you fall in love with, you buy the land. So now you own that land, and you're thinking it's only going to cost $5,000 to develop. And then we come out and say, hey, you need a retaining wall. Oh, by the way, we have to do a 100-foot gravel road. We have to bring in your utilities. Like, all these things can easily be $50,000. So now their dream of what, the exact home they wanted has been crushed because they didn't do that up front.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the first thing to look at is land. How much will it cost to develop the land?
Nice. Can you also refer them to people to help them buy land? If they're in the market to also buy?
Absolutely.
Or do you help with that process?
I'm happy to help with it. I do have my real estate license, but their job is hard. So I try and stay out of it as much as possible. I like to be on the building side. So most people I work with already have an agent, and we walk alongside that agent. And so they'll send me the land and say, hey, my client's looking at this. What do you guys think? Will you do it? Eval. It takes us 24 hours. We let them know.
Nice. How much planning should people do before reaching out?
You really don't have to do any. I had an appointment last week that took 2 hours, and she's like, I have no clue where to start. So we went over land. In her case, she's getting a promotion in a year, and her budget's going to be a lot bigger in a year, and she doesn't want to sacrifice anything she wants to do. So she's like, should I do it now or later? And I told her, I was like, I would wait. And so I would say for her, it's like, find the land first, because you can't duplicate land. So I was like, be on the hunt for that perfect land over this next year. It's really easy to get a land loan. And then when you're ready to build, we'll get the construction loan, and you may not even have to put money down because you already have equity in the land, and that will act as your down payment. Yeah.
What's the difference between buying a production home and a custom home? Yeah,
there's some big differences, and that's the world I've been in. And I love what they do. The company I worked for, Roush Coleman L&R, their division president was a mentor to me. I have so much respect for him and everything he's accomplished with that culture. But it's a very different experience. Production build, it's going to be cheaper. It just is. You're going to be able to get a better price, because how they make their living is they are building and buying in bulk. So they're buying the same materials, the same countertops, cabinets, flooring, and they're buying it in such bulk. And because they sell about 500 homes a year, their profit margins can be a lot less because, they're selling so many.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be able to get a better price. But I would say the flip side to that is on custom. It goes back to what I said. I mean, halfway through, we're making changes for clients. In my opinion, selection wise, we don't really have a limit to what we can do, even on a $250,000 home. Our designer, she's amazing. She'll go find what you're looking for. If we don't have it in our showroom, she is the best. And so she's going to go find that countertop, those cabinets you love. And so I would say if you're willing to spend, 10 to 20,000 more to get it exactly how you want, we may be the best fit. And I tell people all the time, if, hey, you think your job is going to take you somewhere else in a year or two, what's probably best for you is to buy from a production builder.
Yeah. What should people look for when choosing a contractor?
Like a builder?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think the face-to-face appointments, again, are a big deal. I would ask them, what does getting update look like? What does it look like if we have an issue? Ask about the change orders, like you mentioned. Is that something we can do? Because the last thing you want is to be set up for disappointment when if you're halfway through and you want to add those drawers to the pantry and they say no. At least you know that up front and you can kind of squash a lot of those things you want to do. So,
yeah, absolutely. What are some red flags people should watch out for whenever they're going in to build a new home?
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember, but when we met last week and it was the day in the life, I took a call from a client, or not a client, but somebody who was reaching out because they were referred to me because this person trusted me and he needed some honest advice. This is a real life situation here in Sapulpa. He went with a new builder who had only built one home, and it was a cost plus type situation where you quote a price and he basically agrees to take a percentage off of that price. The issue is halfway through, you can be kind of lowballed on how much it's going to be. And then halfway through, he can say, pricing went up. And you can end up being priced out of that home, like not being able to get approved to purchase that home. That's the difference between turnkey versus cost plus of what to watch out for. But specifically, this gentleman, their home is about 75% complete. I met with them earlier today, walked their house, 75% complete. And the builder essentially took their money and then filed bankruptcy. And so now they're working with the bank to try and help get it finished. Hopefully we can help them. And we're more or less doing this almost as a favor at this point. It's builders like that give everybody else kind of a bad name. And so I'm not sure if I should go in depth, but when you're building a custom home, the bank gives the money out in what's called draws. So you are building a $350,000 home. The bank will have that essentially in an account for you. And then the bank will release $50,000 or $70,000 at a time when you get to that stage in the build. So slab, $50,000. They release it to the builder, us. We do the prep and the slab. They're supposed to come out and inspect it, make sure the work was done before they release more money. In this circumstance with this gentleman, basically what happened is he had completed all of those draws until the last one. So he essentially, the bank said, okay, you've completed this last step. We're going to release your final draw. And then he just took that money on the final draw and bounced and didn't complete the home. So that's what happened.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
With that, I thought there were banks that you had to upload invoices.
Yeah. I mean, so all of it's very transparent, but he was able, and I guess I shouldn't assume, and obviously not going to mention his name. It's from everything I understand is he basically just waited until the last draw because the bank will release the money before he uploaded the invoices saying, this is what I'm going to do. Now I need the money before I can do it. Got the money and then didn't do it. Yeah.
Terrible people.
I know.
But then they find people like you that are like, yes, I will.
For sure.
I will help you out.
For sure.
What causes the biggest budget overruns?
Oh man, lighting.
Really?
Oh yeah. Lighting can be, you can spend $50,000 in lights in 2 hours. And so, yeah. And so that can be a budget killer for sure.
That's true. Yep. That's why our lighting looks like this, because the budget was not that big for
I love
lighting.
Your lighting, so I think it's awesome. You guys have great taste. It's really set up nicely.
Thank you. How do you stay up to date in the industry?
Podcasts.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a bunch of them I listen to, and my partners, they're always in that world, and so they'll update me or tell me to listen to something. But yeah, I'd say podcasts, reading articles. Trend wise, I'm not the designer, and I'm not going to pretend like I know all of the new hip cool things. We hired someone super talented who's ahead of it.
Nice.
And so she'll kind of update us like, hey, grays. That's how I knew grays were out. Hey, grays are out, Chase. Warm tones, are coming back in and doing all of that. So
perfect.
Yeah.
What's next for your company?
Man, my goal this year. So we are started out the year. I'm big on like goal setting, writing down goals, like doing all that stuff. We wanted 10 custom homes for 2026. And to sell 5 spec homes. So spec homes, in case anyone doesn't know, that's where we just build it, design it, and then turn around and sell it. So far, so July 1st, we are at 9 custom homes. So I've almost hit that goal. We've run into delays on our specs, but we have 4 spec homes coming up, and they should be completed this year. So we're ahead of goal on that. I would love to see, 16 families served this year for custom homes. Spec homes aren't as fulfilling for me. I really like the process of working with families long-term, 6 to 8 months, getting to know them. And so we may kind of phase out of spec homes, I think, in the future and focus solely on rural luxury and helping people with custom homes.
Hey, if that's what your heart calls you for,
that's right.
That's what it means.
Yep.
Is there anyone that you would like to thank before we wrap up?
Yeah, I gave him a shout out earlier, but I'd say Kyle Richardson. He's now the division president of Lennar. He's a Roush Coleman. Early in my career, I was kind of an idiot still, and I made some poor decisions. And he had the right to fire me, and instead of firing me, he made me sweep driveways for Roush Coleman. And I was our number one sales guy. And he's like, hey, you want to come back? Like, I'll pay you. And so you don't have to worry about, money, but I think you kind of need to be humbled and just really focus on your family. That was huge for me, that he wasn't just trying to use me because I was a good salesperson and throw me back in. He was actually more concerned about like my heart and my family. And so, I spent, it was like 8 to 10 months, scraping concrete, sweeping driveways, just doing all the dirty work. So if he didn't do that for me, if he didn't stick it out with me, there's a chance I would have left the industry. And so forever grateful to him, grateful to Blake Mason, who's in the industry, just an amazing person and someone who always pushes me and we challenge each other. And then, I love my partners and couldn't do it without them. So Jeremy and Chad are amazing people, and they really challenge me and make sure mentally I'm in a good place, because I'm hard on myself. So I appreciate them for that. And then of course my wife above all.
Absolutely.
So she's my better half.
Yes.
I would not be half the person I am today without her.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Where can people find you online?
Yeah. So, I'm on socials. So I'm primarily on Facebook because I'm older. I probably need to, I need to get on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. So Chase Scott, we obviously have a website, landandlegacyok.com. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Perfect. And then any final advice for someone who is wanting to build their dream home or wanting to start their own business?
Yeah. So on the dream home, it's you can't start planning early enough, and it's never a waste of time. I don't care and what I mean by that is people will call me and be like, I'm a year out. I don't want to meet, or, I don't want to waste your time. And I always tell them, like, I'm meeting with somebody tomorrow who's a year out, and I'm driving to them to go meet them. I want to meet you. Let's start planning now and at least get some of those questions answered. And you may get advice during our meeting that changes the whole process for you, like buying that land first. And so I would say, like, if you even have the slightest itch to possibly build a custom, like, reach out to a builder, and it's never too early. getting in the industry, and probably, as you know, kind of what you did, where you just like jumped in, you're like, I'm going for it. I don't think, you can plan for 3 years and wait for the perfect opportunity, and it's not going to happen. And so my advice would be like, obviously financially kind of plan for it. Make sure you have some things in place so you're not desperate. People do really dumb things when they're desperate, and then just go for it and get uncomfortable. That's like kind of my motto, is like, I try and get uncomfortable every single day. This is incredibly uncomfortable for me.
You did fantastic.
And so it's like, it's my check for today of things I did that were uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us on Million Hour Workweek. I am very excited for everyone to get to see that your work day that we got to experience the other day. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
If this episode inspired you or taught you something new, subscribe so you don't miss future stories from entrepreneurs who are building businesses one day at a time. Until next time, keep showing up, keep learning, and keep building.